blur.
Yeah, much better. Like this big glare.
There is a blur.
I feel like they're sinking.
Hi, Carrie.
Never
made
mind.
it.
Ignore what I just sent you.
I was just looking like, what is he talking about?
All the pets say hi. We're in the motorhome.
Oh, look at them all.
He was like, what am I looking at?
All the pets.
Come on, you want to say hi too? Or say hi.
Diva says hi. Come on. Come on.
Good. She's in full mode.
Come on.
She's like, but Dad, you say no jumping.
I don't let her jump normally.
Come here. Come here. Come here, fluffy douche. Come here. Come on, say hi. Say hi.
She's all grown up. Hi.
Yeah. Who is it?
Okay, go.
I don't know.
You're like pig pen. Go lay down. Go.
I feel so horrible when we get on the Zooms when everyone's on and I'm doing this, like looking all over the screen and I can't focus on who's talking. Hi, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. We're going to give people a couple of minutes. I know Leanne's getting her text out.
I'm updating the number because I gave everybody the wrong number.
Oh, that would be my fault. I put it in the event because for some reason it changed when I went to go fix it today.
Do you pay for the service?
Yes.
You can actually set it to be whatever number you want, and it'll use that same number every time. So like
Here's the
mine is my phone
problem.
number.
I forgot. That's what I use is my phone number, but I forgot to change yesterday's and it disappeared. So when I made a new one, it didn't use the new one. I'm like, so I'm like, just use that one.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry.
The only problem with using my phone number too is people are calling while we're doing a Zoom. They're calling my phone, and I'm like, hold on. Yeah, it's a Zoom. Yeah, it's a Zoom.
I haven't had that yet. You guys are good.
Well, that means you guys are good. Okay, so let me get these out real quick. Hitting all the chats.
Yes, I'm sinking. I feel like I'm sinking in the couch.
Comfy though.
Look at Crystal. Crystal's home. Welcome to Florida.
It's so lovely to be home.
And the weather's been great.
Really good, really nice. Cooled off. I heard it was unbearable for a while.
No, I was not. I would
It's
take
pretty
that
warm.
over Massachusetts weather any day.
Yeah, it was. We had a beautiful summer up there. The weather really was fabulous.
Oh, I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will take your word for it.
Look at everyone on.
You might
So
have
glad to see everyone jumping on.
I like this 6:30 time frame.
It's good.
Yeah.
I try, like, I know a lot of people get home right away. It gives them time to eat and at least do something. And when we can just knock it out and be done.
Yeah. Ours is also tonight, but it's not till 8.
I know a lot of people had stuff with their kids. So, like when they do sports, they can be on the Zoom while the kids are doing a practice or something.
Oh, yep. We just did our team picks. I've actually been feeling a little under the weather today. We traveled, Misty and I. We went to West Virginia, Maryland. We were in that area.
Oh, I saw the pictures.
And we
Hi,
don't
Misty.
do cold weather. Like, I don't do cold. I don't even know how to handle it. So I don't know if I got like a sinus something from the plane or from the weather change or the fact that my body's like, we don't do cold weather.
Could be a little of everything.
So
Dirty little children on the planes.
all those tight spaces, had to sit next to Misty.
Could be worse.
Hashtag drink boost 3 times a day.
Yeah, I've been doing some boosting. Okay, so we can just kick it off whenever you're ready.
All right. So, guys, welcome to our dual team Zoom tonight. We have lots of new friends on that some of you may or may not know, but I will introduce our speakers tonight. We've got Leanne, and hopefully Jeremiah Monaghan will be speaking tonight. And I don't know if we can get Jay to speak, but we'll see if we can make it happen. And I asked her to come on because we have a great relationship. We're all friends, and I love her team. As you all know, I really bond well with that Southern Thrivers team all as a whole, and I really want us to be more like that. And I know Leanne has it down pat. Her friends, her team, everyone is just gelling so well, and they help each other and just keep moving forward in this business. And I want success for every one of you here, whether you're on my team or on her team or on some other team and joining us. I just feel like the more successful people we surround ourselves with, the more it pushes us all up, right? So I'm hoping that maybe hearing from someone else other than me, blah, 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 you'll at least get something out of it, because I know you're sick and tired of hearing me every single week. So I love that I have some super successful and motivational friends that help us along this journey. So with that being said, Leanne, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having us on too. It's always fun to hear what other teams have been doing. And I know we've been trying to do that more lately because, you know, we say the same things over and over again. So it's really good to hear what works for your team. And then it's also good to hear from other teams, to hear maybe what's not working, you know, learn from somebody else's, not so much mistakes, but maybe downfalls, maybe learn, you know, where they fell short and how you can pick up, like let them learn that for you. But a little background for those that don't know, my husband and I have been thriving for a little over 2 years. It was 2 years in June, and I started as a customer, had never heard of Thrive before. I had never seen it. I didn't have anybody on my Facebook thriving until Shireen started thriving, and she was super, super excited about it. And I honestly shot it down to begin with. I had friends that had done different direct sales before. I had tried to take vitamins myself before. Nothing ever worked. We all still had full-time jobs. Misty was one of those. She's on this part of the screen, so if I point to her, that's who I'm pointing at. I don't know where she is on your screen. But Misty had done a couple of other things before, and I always would try to go to her parties and support her, but she always had a full-time job. It wasn't anything that we fell in love with and we were super passionate about until this came along. So I did enroll in the beginning of June as a customer, zero intentions to promote, because like I said, I didn't know anybody that was successful in these kind of businesses before, so it wasn't something that crossed my mind. We had very full plates. He was a construction manager for a swimming pool company. I was a teller supervisor for TD Bank, and those that know TD Bank know that they are open 7 days a week. They stay open later than other banks, and they open earlier. So when I got the supervisor position that I worked very, very hard to get, I learned that supervisor meant I made a teeny tiny bit more money, and I got a whole lot more hours. So my plate was very full. We have 2 young boys who I feel like they must have mimicked the amount of B12 and Thrive after their energy themselves, because they are full of it all day, every day. So like I was saying, our plates were very full. I wasn't thinking of adding anything else to it. So when Shireen started talking about premium nutrition and you can get it for free and blah, 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 I wasn't amused in the beginning. So it took her about 2 weeks to convince me. I did enroll as a customer. Fell in love with the products by day 3. Jeremiah watched me for about 8 days before he was like, I need to do what you're doing, because I haven't seen you stick with anything for 8 consecutive days ever. So he started thriving with me then. And quickly I learned that I wanted to do this forever and I didn't want to pay for it. So I started talking to people about what I was doing. And my main focus started with people that I could personally relate to. So I didn't send out a blanket message to everybody on my Facebook. I didn't hit up people that I hadn't known for years. I started with tired working moms that could relate to my story. And I knew that I could say to them, hey, remember last week when we were talking about being exhausted and we can't keep up with our kids? Well, I found bottled kid energy in capsule shake little sticker form. Like, you got to try it with me. So that's really where I started. And once I had 3 people that wanted to do it with me, I started asking Shireen, like you said, 2 people get you free. what does 3 do? And she was like, I'm coming over, we're hitting that promoter button. And I'm like, no, not doing it. I don't have time to promote. I don't have time for anything like that. And she's like, well, you know, you're on Facebook already. You're already telling people that you feel good. You go out to eat and you tell everybody about your experience. You get a new shampoo and you tell everybody about that. It's the same thing. And so with a little persuasion, she physically came to my house to make me hit that promoter button. And that was probably one of the greatest things that I had ever done. I just didn't know it yet. So we hit the promoter button, hit the ground running. We flew through some ranks really fast. We hit 12K within 33 days. Immediately got a call. Dana Chuba, Kristen Gonzalez called and said, hey, we haven't met yet, but you just hit 12K. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, don't tell anybody you got an auto bonus if you're not going to go get a luxury car. And so I was like, holy cow, you know, 13 weeks ago, I wasn't even going to do this. And now this person's calling me and telling me to get a luxury car. But I did a little research. I looked up who Dana Chuba was. I looked up who Kristen Gonzalez was. I saw their success, and I saw something in this company that said, they're doing what you would like to be doing. If there's a possibility that I could stay home with my kids, I'm going to go ahead and follow in their footsteps. So I talked to Jeremiah about it, and to convince him to go out and buy a brand new car that we had never even thought about setting foot on that kind of lot. He must have seen it in me to believe in this company that much, to know that I believed in it, to actually go out and get a brand new car. So we did that. And every single morning, that was a constant reminder. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep pushing. You can't fall back, because girl, you know, you can't make that car payment without it. So that was really one of my driving mindsets in the very beginning when it came to 12K. And we didn't stop there. I had a couple other people hit 12K shortly after me, and we hit 40K the following November. So promoter the end of June, car in August. November, we hit 40K, and we were all running like our hair was on fire, like literally just sharing this product with everybody. And I'll kind of backtrack a little about things that I want to talk about tonight, but I know that November in this industry, we talk about it and we heard about it last year, that's a slow time of the month, slow time of the year, like slow season. And this really comes to mindset. Like in November, I had just started. I didn't know anything about a slow time in any kind of season. I didn't know anything was slow, because all I was doing was sharing with new people who had never heard of Le-Vel before. So remember that when you hear people saying like, it's a slow time in this industry, that mom that might need to hear from you guys, she doesn't know it's a slow time in direct sales. That dad that might be trying to get out there and coach his kids, like he doesn't know that it's a slow time in direct sales. So in November, we were running like crazy. We ran really hard. We did, go through the normal like seasonal Christmas time kind of lull. And then we continued to grow. We hit 80K in April. And then it kind of fell backwards. I think that we got to a place where it was very comfortable. We started to forget the things that we have to do in the beginning. We started to forget the events. We started to forget the calls. We started to forget to continue to do those things, to connect to other people, to continue to share the Thrive experience. And so we fell back a little bit. And I know that that can be very disheartening, and that can be very hard when you look at a number and it's not exactly where you want it to be. And so we did take a lot of time in that following year to kind of revamp and kind of rebuild. I'll be completely honest. In the very first year of promoting, I told all my uplines, I don't need to get on the phone. I don't need to have you talk to the other people. I can do it. I can explain the products. I got this. And we didn't do a lot of three-way calls. So because I didn't do a lot of three-way calls, my immediate level ones did not do a lot of three-way calls. So it happened all the way down the line. So once we hit 80K and started to fall back a little bit, I got to a place where I was like, okay, we've got to figure out what we're not doing and what we should be doing. So, they say it all the time, like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. So we've gotten to a place where we're doing a lot more events. We're doing a lot more calls. We are connecting a lot more people. And I wrote down a couple things so I can try to not forget things. But so that basically brings us to the following year, the next April, we did hit 200K. And now we're just kind of plugging along. We're trying to figure out how to add new, how to keep rebuilding. But I know we wanted to talk about some of the connections, like really dig deep into the three-way calls, because it's something that we've always struggled with. And we did add a leg who was very accustomed with doing connection calls and adding that. And I had other legs start to look, and we were like, well, why are they growing so fast? You know, they're pedal to the metal. And I'm like, this team has me on the phone doing connection calls all the time. So then it was like, oh, it really does work. It's kind of like when you realize that your parents really were right all along when you're growing up, that these people do know what they're talking about. These three-way calls are huge. So we've done a couple of blitz to try to help reinvent how important the connection calls are. We were out of town a couple of months ago, and so Misty really ran with this one huge. I think she did like 21 three-way calls in one day, and it was amazing. But what we challenged our team to do was any promoters, like any uplines who had access to a lot more products, because you know you get a lot of the new people who don't have a ton of product to just fling out there for samples. So we connected those people with uplines who were willing to do this, and every single person that they connected, so like they connected me with somebody to do a three-way call with, I sent the sample out for that person. So it kind of helped them to get the three-way call going. It helped them get the product out to those people when they couldn't, you know, maybe afford to have all that extra product on hand. And it also helped us get into a better habit of doing three-way calls. So if you guys have questions on that, we can dig a little bit into exactly how that process went. And I know Misty's on, so she can probably help walk us through, because I was out of town when she did that, and she did those calls like crazy. So that was really huge, giving some kind of incentive, some kind of help to get those three-way calls going and to get them done. And another huge thing, when you're on a connection call with someone, when you're on a three-way call with one of your people, I always try to, when I'm on the phone with them, make sure, hey, I found you on Facebook. I went ahead and sent you a friend request. Make sure we're friends. So that way, say the middle person, you know, maybe they're new. Maybe they're not really used to the whole game. Maybe they're not used to the process. Maybe they're not used to the follow-up. At least now you have connected with this person as well, and you can kind of help push them along. So that's another reason why I love three-way chats too, because at that point, you now have an in to that person as well. It's not like you just did a three-way call with somebody and you have no way to connect with them without the third party involved. Does that make sense? So I try to always make sure that I connect with the person that I am connecting with. Online, phone, text message, something to make sure that we're all connected. Did I miss anything in there in our story? Did you want to add anything?
No, you're good.
Connection calls, not just during that call. Oh, another thing that's huge too, and this comes with connection calls also, is events. Getting out there and doing events, getting face-to-face. And it's not, for me, it's not, and we talked about this the other night, it's not all about getting those non-thrivers and those new people to events. It's about telling your story over and over and over again. We've had a bunch of events lately where we had 40 or 50 promoters. Not one new person was there. It was all promoters. And we run it just like we would if it was full of new people, if it was a room full of new people. Because I don't think you can ever tell your story too many times. I know when I tell my story, it reminds me of why. Why did I push so hard to be able to be home full-time with Le-Vel? Why did I push so hard so that he could be home full-time with Le-Vel? It reminds me when I'm up there and I'm telling my story, and it's super uncomfortable for me because I don't like speaking in front of people, but it reminds me that this whole thing is bigger than those fears that we have inside, and we can get out there and do that. So I know I've got a big challenge for my team coming up in the next couple months, and hosting events is one of the things that's on that list. So I know you were going to say something, Scott. What was I missing?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, I wanted to talk to you real quick about, I think you, and it might have been Misty that did it. You're the only people I've ever seen do, like, oh, I think it was a wedding show. Did you do a wedding show? Was it both of you guys? I don't think anyone's ever done that. That's freaking genius. When I first started, I was a wedding DJ, as most of you guys know, and most of my first 200 customers were all the brides. because they all said, oh, I need to lose weight before I fit in my dress. Perfect. Here you go. Like,
Exactly.
like think outside the box, guys. It doesn't have to be, you know, a Thrive After 5 at a bar or at a gym or something. As you see on the Le-Vel page, they're doing them at car dealerships now, like at a Lexus dealer or a Mercedes dealer or something. How much better can you get? Oh, you want this car right here? Look at that one. Yeah, that's the car you can get. Go sit in it. Go smell it. Like that kind of stuff. It gets people excited, get them pumped up, and it builds that excitement and your momentum. So I will always remember, I don't remember where I saw that picture, but I saw a picture of you guys at a wedding show, and I'm like, oh, that was brilliant. And you had all these fancy packages for samples. You guys did a great job. I loved it. So
yeah, my aunt owns Florida Wedding Expo. So for many years, we've worked with her and done registration. And so I've seen all those vendors out there. So when we started Thriving, we kind of flipped from doing registration to doing booths and doing tables. So I always try to get people there. And one of the greatest things about doing vendor tables and events is it really helps you perfect that very quick, what is Thrive thing. So it helps you get comfortable, because at the January bridal show that they have in Orlando, there's over 1,300 brides. So that doesn't even count like the entourage that comes with them. The grooms come with them, their maid of honor, their bridal party. So you've got people coming by the table, and you have to get them that quick. When they say, oh, well, what is that? You have to get them and reel them in. So it's like, well, if I stumbled over it this time, there's a bride coming right behind her. There's someone coming right behind her. I can change what I said and figure out what thing I can say that's really going to get their attention. Another really good thing to do at vendor events, and we just did one last weekend, and we did it at the elementary school where my kids go to school, because who else is super tired but parents? And that's all that was there. And we got some teachers that wanted to thrive, because I've got his kindergarten teacher thriving, so now his first grade teacher wants to be thriving. So that worked out really well too. But it's really good if you have like an iPad, or if you can bring a laptop and put all these before and after pictures of everybody. So as they're walking by the table, it's flipping through those pictures, and those people see before and after pictures, and they're going to stop and be like, okay, what the heck is this? It's also a really good way to build your database. We always put a clipboard, or we put paper out there and say, you know, if you're interested in more information, you know, drop your contact information. We try to find them on Facebook, you know, set them up with a free account, get in contact with them, and do that. But any kind of vendor event you can find, get your booty out there. Like, get out there so you can tell people like what it's about. You can meet people. You never know who you're going to walk up to, who you're going to come across that's going to need Thrive, and that's going to want to, you know, find more information out from you guys. So yes, the vendor tables are huge. The events are huge, because seriously, like, telling your story over and over again fires you back up. And then we went to an event at a dealership in Tennessee. Oh, yes, Tennessee. And it was really cool to have it like right in the middle, and for there to be cars there, because how exciting is it to like go up to a picture, hold up that "This is why I thrive" banner, and take a picture, post that thing on your Facebook, and people are going to be like, what the heck is she doing? She's getting that new car? Like, what? And they're going to want to know what's going on. So yes, I think that is a good idea. We should probably start doing those around here too. But samples, freeway events. Oh, here's another huge thing that after the call yesterday, after the Thrive Fit call yesterday, I went through, and I don't know if you guys know you can do this. You can go to the top of your Facebook, you can go into your search bar, and you can type a keyword, and everybody on your friends list that's typed in that word is going to show up. Their status is going to show up to you. So I typed in fitness, and I made sure that I put like a top couple people who were just recently talking about working on their fitness, this about fitness, that, put them in my see first. So that's who I'm going to start seeing. And I went on their pages. I did a little bit of research today, clicking around, a little bit of stalking, seeing what they had going on. So when I start launching these Thrive Fit things, they're going to start seeing my stuff first. So that was really good. And hopefully that will help me get some new fitnessy type people on there. Another thing that I'll get a little personal with my team, but there's a lot of people on our team that we have been friends for a very long time. Misty and I go back 24-ish years. We met when we were like born. But we we go back. We've been friends for a long time. I see Kenny on here. Kenny, we rode the school bus together in middle school, Misty as well. Lots of people on here. We go way, way, way back. And we make it a point to always remember that we were friends first. And nowhere in this business am I anybody's boss. I will never ask anybody or tell anybody to do anything that I am not doing myself. And I say that about those events. I am not, Lord, who knows? I'm not super comfortable public speaking, but I know that it works. I know that it makes your story better. I know that it makes you stronger. I know that it builds confidence. And if I'm going to ask anybody to get up and tell their story, then I'm going to have to get up and tell my story. So that's another thing that I think makes our team very strong too. I always try to keep it in a place where this is our team, not my team. This is what we do together. We are all business partners. I don't really like to refer to anybody as downline because the only reason I'm where I am is just because I started that many days sooner than anybody else. So that's really huge too. If you can get in the mindset of running next to your team and, you know, working with them to get to your goals, then that's going to be huge too. Finding someone also, you can unpause if you want. You can interrupt me whenever you want. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but finding somebody in your team, maybe not even on your own team, but finding somebody who's not in your household to hold yourself accountable or to hold you accountable, to call you out. So don't find somebody who's going to be like, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Like this guy, he'll tell me all day long, I'm doing a great job. Misty will be like, girl, that's not working. You have to change what you're doing. So you need to find somebody that's going to call you out when you're not doing something. So if you're doing something that's not working. And then it's really important to find somebody that can have your back when you need a minute, because it's very easy in this business to lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing if you feel like you're drowning in what you're doing all the time. I know that I can call up Misty, I can call up Allie, I can hit up Beth and Belinda and be like, hey, you guys, I need a minute. This morning, I woke up and I was super congested. I didn't feel good. I messaged Misty and said, I'm taking meds and I'm laying back down. And I was down for 4 hours and I didn't have to worry about a single thing because I know all these girls have my back. So that's huge too, because I feel like in the beginning, it's very easy to get caught up in message, and you don't want anybody to help you and you want to tend to everybody right that second. And then you can get discouraged when you feel like all you're doing is being on your phone all the time. So find someone that's willing to call you out, hold you accountable, find somebody that can have your back. You just really have to keep sharing. You have to keep sharing your experience. Nobody's going to tell you that your story is wrong, that you're saying what you're saying wrong, and you got to keep going. What'd I forget? What'd I miss? What are you going to throw in there, Dad?
You did fantastic.
Oh. Also, find somebody that will always be your cheerleader and support you all the time, because I could never do what I was doing if I didn't have this guy doing all the stuff in the background.
Hey, my job's easy over here.
Bullfrog, you need some pom-poms.
Hey. Build them up a different way.
Good job, man.
Hey, Bo.
LeeAnn, I so appreciate it, and I totally get what you're saying. I think sometimes, unfortunately, I've been doing this about a year longer than you, and I have lost sight several times back and forth. You know, you get in a zone and you forget, like you said. I forgot. You know, Jamie Zisk and I have been friends longer than you've been born. Let's just leave it at that. Ricky Perla and I have been friends longer than you've been born. Like, these are my friends, and I forget that because we're working together. And it's hard, like, when you see something and maybe your teammate doesn't see it, and you get
Frustrated.
Yeah, you get frustrated, and it may not come across right. So I think it's important that everyone be a little, I don't know the right word to use here, cognizant of the fact that sometimes when we're in a stressful position, it's nothing that you did. It's just basically, hey, like you said, call them back out. Hey, that's not cool. You know, we need to change this. You know, I'm not working for you. Tell me what to do right, or tell me what I did wrong, and maybe reword it. For me, it's tough. Most of my team knows I have kind of a hothead. You know this probably too, but whatever. And sometimes I vent, and it's just my way. And I've been working on it for the last 3 years nonstop, and I think it's getting better. Today was not a good day. I left the gym, didn't go to the gym, went for a ride to clear my head because things were just not good. And sometimes, like LeeAnn says, you need to take that time and have someone to have your back. And that's important to have that me time to keep your head straight, because if you just thrive, I will promise you guys, you will veer so far off track, pulling it back in is going to be impossible, and you won't know where you went wrong. It will just go way off track, and you'll go, but I did everything, and you really didn't, because there was no one there to say, no, go this way, and because you're just far right. But I so appreciate all those little tips, because, again, hearing it from someone else, hearing it from a friend is so nice.
Do you guys use any of those daily trackers? No.
We started doing the hundreds notepad, the
Sticky
note challenge. It got to be a little much for me, but I really do need to get into some type of trackers, because my follow-ups have gotten better just recently, but it went haywire forever because I had so much stuff to do.
I will message you a couple of the ones that we use, but it's a really good way to hold yourself accountable. You can literally look and see when you're look at your PPA, and you can go back at those sheets and go, well, no wonder no one's reaching out. No one's reaching back out to me. I didn't do anything last week. I might have sat in front of my computer and felt busy, but I didn't do anything. So They're really good to have. We started doing them in Kristen's, one of her boot camp challenges, which was huge. It was daily tasks, income producing activities, and we had to keep track of it and write it down. But it's a really good way to be able to go back and look and say, okay, this worked, this didn't. This is why no one's answering me, because I didn't reach out to anybody last week. It's a good way to hold yourself accountable. And
I like spreadsheets. And Dustin sent me his, so I'm going to probably try that out and see if that works for me.
There you go. Another thing that we did that was huge that I almost forgot about it, and you actually were involved with us, when we did a Facebook Live local. Remember when we did that event? That was a really good time, and that's a really good way to be able to invite some new people to come on and hear new stories when you get those excuses, I can't get there, I have kids, I have work, I can't get to an event. So we could probably try to do one of those again too, because that was a really fun time. We did that scavenger hunt that was involved with it. You came on and told your story. We asked a bunch of different leaders from different areas to tell their stories too. So that was really good. But that's a good way to get a little more comfortable telling your story before you're out there face to face in front of 20 people too.
And it's fun.
And it's fun.
It adds the fun part too. So
definitely.
Do you have anything else you wanted to throw in? Jeremiah, come on, buddy.
I mean, what else we got? We got Thrive Fit coming up. We got triple quals. I mean, this is a perfect time to jumpstart a business.
I think let's hit Thrive Fit first. You and I Thrive Fit, because I know you're on it.
All I do is the 3 steps. I don't add anything else to it. I mean, I take form, but there's, I haven't ventured into some of the pre-workouts since I've done Thrive. I've been kind of worried about that it might make me run through a wall.
So I'll tell you guys a little about what I did and why I was so excited for Thrive Fit. And I actually have a little surprise that's coming out later on this week for my team to see. And I know LeeAnn knows all about it, so it's going to be cool as hell. But I have been adding another company's products to my workout. There's a company here in my town, or in Boca, called Blackstone Labs, and they make great products, and they're really specific for bodybuilders. And as you guys know, I've been in the gym, and I'm really trying to stack on some weight.
Wait, you've been in the gym?
Okay, we've been in the gym already.
Because I went to the gym today. Just saying.
But anyway.
Anyways.
So I tried these 2 new products. One of them is called Hype, and the other one is called Dust. Hype is meant to boost your metabolism and raise your nitric oxide levels in your bloodstream and provide extended cardiovascular support Does it sound like Circulate to anyone else? It's pretty much the same thing. So I was really excited about that. And the Dust is a pre-workout. And Kim cannot do the pre-workout. She gets all itchy. I did it for like a week, and I will tell you this. Pre-workout and Thrive is probably the worst thing you're ever going to do. I would smash through my workout, and at 2 o'clock, I would take a nap. Mm-hmm. It's the first time in 3 years I have ever been so tired that I just need to sleep. And literally, I would take a nap, do something for a couple of hours, and Kim and I would go upstairs and relax in the bedroom at 8 or 9, and I'm out. Like, I pass out. I'm so tired. That caffeine jolt really screws with your Thrive. And I'm super excited that there isn't any of that in our new products coming out. So they're really going to mesh well. The L-arginine is huge, as you guys saw, for your circulatory system and your blood flow. So I will promise you guys it really is going to work well. You're going to get like good pump in the gym, and you're going to feel different. Just like Jason said last night, you will absolutely feel different. And again, I can't wait to get it here because I don't want to add someone else's stuff. And I only did because it's what I needed at that time. You guys might not be there right now, but this, I printed it out just so I would remember what's on it. This is going to help everyone. I was doing protein shakes. We had protein shakes from Lifetime Fitness. I know you guys all have Lifetimes everywhere.
So gross.
They taste disgusting. I will promise you our stuff will not taste disgusting. It's also 20 grams of protein, not 25. And the absorption rate is nowhere near what we're going to get with Thrive Fit. So again, more protein, more muscle building, that blood flow, and then a recovery product. It's like form on steroids, but not steroids. So again, I'm super excited. I'm tired of being sore. I hit very hard at the gym. Kim hits very hard at the gym, and there's always soreness. But I always thought growing up, when you lift really hard and you're not sore, then you didn't lift hard enough. So I feel like this is going to change the game.
A lot of it, the zero caffeine is a huge thing when it comes to it. I mean, that crash you got, and that was my biggest fear with adding something, that wasn't the highest quality that it could have been, basically. So zero caffeine should, and like Jason said, you're going to have to tailor it to your own needs. But like Scott was saying, like my needs are getting to where like I would like something else, because I think I'm getting to a point to where I need more protein. I needed to be a little cleaner.
I think we outgrew the 3 steps in the gym.
Trying to cut back on your food intake and I'm trying to build mass and lean out at the same time, and that is a very difficult thing to do. So I'm super excited about Thrive Fit, and I know a couple of the guys that I know, may be able to experience some of the same benefits, whether with the 3 steps or not. You got to pick and choose your battles.
Right. I don't know if they're on, but we have 2 IFBB bodybuilders on our team now. They just started in the last couple of weeks. And Nicole or Rhonda, if you're on, just say hi. But they're super excited for Fit because this totally encapsulates everything they need for the bodybuilding as well. So I feel like we are going to enter into a new market, even though Fit isn't for bodybuilding specifically. I feel like it allows us to really reach into that market as long as we know what we're talking about. Guys and girls, if you are not 100% sure what Build, Circulate, and Recover is going to do not go into a gym and speak to someone that's been taking supplements for 10 years. They will embarrass you. They embarrass me, and I know what I'm talking about. Like, they'll ask me questions I don't really know the answer to right away. And it's, I knew it was garbage. What are you talking about? It's garbage. I don't know the answer, so that makes it garbage. But in their head, they think whatever they're doing is like the pinnacle, and nothing is going to beat it. So if you're knowledgeable and you inform people rather than go at them, I think you will have a whole new market of people to reach. And that fitness name that Leanne threw out there, guys, reach it on Instagram. #fitness if you're on Instagram. If you don't do that, it's a big mistake. Use your hashtags. Utilize the tools that you're given. You guys watch my Instagram if you want. I'm gaining a couple hundred followers every couple days. And it's just because I'm really using the hashtags for the products that I'm trying to promote to them. And it's not only promoting. I do my gym pictures. I do the dog. I do my car. You have to be well-rounded. If you only post thrive, they will unfollow. People get sick of it. They just don't want a commercial. So they want to see you in a box. So that's all I have to that.
We're going to need like a crash course after you guys have some Thrive Fit experience, so we know how to talk about it when people ask.
I would love to do that. I'm hoping that I get it early, since I had a little help from PG this last week, and maybe he can push something for me.
There you go.
We'll see if we can make something happen. And I will give you guys play-by-play. I am writing everything down. I really, really want to know what this is going to do. I'm doing measurements this week. I'm doing body weight. I'm doing BMI. And I will go next week and see with fit and see what it does. And I'm going to go just straight up. This is the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Awesome.
Cool.
I can't wait to know.
All right. We are, that's about everything I wanted to hit. You guys don't forget, double, triple, hit today.
Yeah.
Huge. This is the way to launch your business. It's a good way to give back to your teammates. I have, for my team, 2 big promotions going on. I don't know if everyone has seen it yet, but I will throw it out there for your team to see what we do, just if it's different. I am offering half back to my frontline promoters. I also have a cash back promo for the first 5 people that hit their triples. They'll be entered in a drawing for $250. And if we get 10 people to hit their triples, I will raise that to $500. And I'm going to give that away. So everyone should be running. That extra $500 can come in handy. And don't forget, you're making good money on those 400 packs and 800 packs.
And it's growing your business.
Absolutely.
Most important. And you're getting product out to people.
Yeah. As soon as people start purchasing these, then you guys can run those sampling blitz where you do those 3-way calls for your downline, because you'll have tons of product to be able to do it with. So super hand in hand. All those packs are going to count towards trip quals. If you guys are enrolling new people, don't forget that's happening. I still swear by Punta Cana Hard Rock being my favorite getaway of all the getaways. So run for it. It's worth it. It's amazing. So much fun.
And it's my birthday weekend, so we are totally going to celebrate.
And you guys better be on this getaway.
I'm going to be a VIP. Don't worry.
Okay, 12 and 12. Let's
I'm
get
bringing
it.
my team with me, right?
Yes.
Yes. Everyone nod yes. Thank you. Good.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Thank you, guys. If anybody has any questions for us, you guys can feel free to reach out if I missed anything or if I blabbed too much.
No, we loved it. Thank you so much. Thank you to your team for jumping on. Thank you to my team for jumping in. Hope you guys got something out of it. And again, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.